Welcome to Smart English Coach Podcast.
Let's improve your fluency together, one real conversation at a time.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. So let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and thought, where did all of that go? Like, where did my money go? I had money. I'm sure I had money. And now it's just gone.
Oh my goodness, yes, that is literally the most relatable thing I have ever heard in my life. I used to do this every single month. I would open my banking app, look at the number, and just close it again immediately. Like, nope, I don't want to see that. I'm not ready.
Exactly. You just close the app and pretend it didn't happen. But you know what? Today, we're going to talk about something that actually changed my life. And I don't say that lightly. I'm talking about how I stopped wasting money. How I went from being completely broke at the end of every month to actually saving, actually having money left over.
And this is a real story. This is not some theoretical finance lecture. This is real life. We're going to talk about real mistakes, real habits, real changes. And of course, we're going to help you learn natural, real English at the same time. So whether you're here to improve your English or manage your money better, or both, you are in the right place.
Let's get into it. Okay, Sarah. So let's start at the beginning. I want to tell you about a period in my life, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where I was honestly terrible with money, like genuinely terrible.
Okay, I love this. Tell me everything.
So I had a decent job. I wasn't earning a lot, but I was earning enough. And every month I would tell myself, this month is different. This month I'm going to save money. I'm going to be responsible. And then I wasn't.
The classic "this month is different" lie we tell ourselves. I know it so well.
Exactly. And the worst part, I didn't even know where the money was going. It was just disappearing, like magic, but in the worst possible way.
Okay, so for our listeners, let's slow down here for a second. Michael just used a great expression, disappearing like magic, but in the worst possible way. That's a great example of how native speakers use comparisons with a twist. We say something, and then we add "but in the worst possible way," or "but not in a good way," to flip the meaning. It sounds very natural.
Great point, Sarah. So yeah, the money was just vanishing, and I had no idea where it was going. Until one day, I decided to actually sit down and look, really look, and I started tracking my spending.
Tracking your spending. So what does that mean exactly? What did you do?
So tracking your spending means keeping a record of every single thing you spend money on. Every coffee, every lunch, every app subscription, every impulse buy, everything. And I started doing this, and oh my goodness, Sarah, what I found was shocking.
Okay, I need to hear this. What did you find?
So the first thing I noticed was coffee. I was spending an insane amount of money on coffee every week. Like, I would grab a coffee on the way to work, then maybe grab another one in the afternoon, and on weekends, I'd go to a nice cafe, sit for a couple of hours, buy a fancy drink.
Okay, but wait, how much are we actually talking about here?
I added it all up, and I was spending around $80 a month on coffee. $80 just on coffee.
Wow. Okay, that is a lot of coffee.
It is a lot of coffee. And by itself, a coffee here, a coffee there, it doesn't feel like much. That's the thing. Each individual purchase feels small. $5 here, $6 there. But when you add it all up, it adds up to a huge number.
This is such an important point, and there's actually a very famous concept for this in personal finance. It's called, and listeners, write this down, the latte factor.
Oh yes, the latte factor. So this is an idea from a financial author named David Bach. The basic idea is this: small, everyday purchases, like a latte, a coffee, a snack, seem harmless on their own, but over time, they add up to a massive amount of money that you could have saved or invested instead.
Right. And it's not just coffee. It's all the little things, the snacks, the random online shopping at midnight.
Oh, don't remind me about the midnight online shopping. That's a whole separate story.
Okay, we have to talk about that because I think every single one of our listeners has been there. You're lying in bed, it's 11:30 at night, and suddenly you think, you know what? I really need that thing.
I really need that decorative lamp, or that kitchen gadget I'll use once, or those shoes in a color I don't even own anything that matches.
Yes, and here's the English phrase I love for this: impulse buy. An impulse buy is when you buy something suddenly, without planning it, just because you feel like it in that moment. And most of the time, you regret it later.
Totally. And I was the king of impulse buys. Absolute king. I had stuff at home that I'd bought online, still in the packaging, that I had never used, never even opened.
Okay, so you tracked your spending, you discovered the coffee situation, you discovered the impulse buying. What happened next? What did you actually do to change?
Good question. So the first real change I made, and this sounds almost embarrassingly simple, was making a budget. A real budget. Not just saying I should spend less. An actual written budget.
Okay, let's break that word down too, because we use it a lot in English. Budget, what does it mean?
So a budget is basically a plan for your money. You decide in advance, before the month starts, how much money you're going to spend on different things. Like $50 for groceries, $30 for eating out, $20 for entertainment. You put limits on each category.
And the key word there is in advance. You decide before you spend, not after. That's what makes it a plan rather than just a wish.
Exactly. And when I first made my budget, it was honestly uncomfortable because I had to look at reality. I had to be honest with myself about what I was spending and what I could actually afford. And that's not always a fun thing to do.
Right, there's another great expression for that, facing reality. Or you might hear people say, facing the music. It means accepting a difficult truth, even when it's hard.
Yes, facing the music. I love that one. And I had to face the music about my finances. My spending habits were not matching my income, and that's why I was always broke.
Wait, broke. Let's make sure everyone knows that word. In English, if someone says they're broke, what does that mean?
If you're broke, it means you have no money, or very little money, like you're out of money. It's a very common informal word. You might say, I can't come out tonight, I'm broke, or I was completely broke by the end of the month.
Yes, and it's very different from being poor, by the way. Being broke usually means a temporary situation. You don't have money right now. Being poor is more about a long-term financial situation. Broke is the word for my wallet is empty.
Good point. So yes, I was broke every month, and making a budget was the first real step to changing that.
Okay, so you made a budget. What was hard about it? Because I feel like a lot of people make budgets and then just don't follow them.
Oh, great point. Yes, making a budget is the easy part. The hard part is sticking to it. Sticking to something, that's a great phrasal verb. It means continuing to follow a plan or a rule, even when it's difficult or tempting to stop.
Like sticking to a diet or sticking to a workout routine.
Exactly. Sticking to your budget when your friends invite you out for dinner or when there's a sale on something you love, that is hard. That takes real discipline.
So how did you stick to it? What was your strategy?
Okay, so I have a few things that really helped me. The first one is something called the 24-hour rule, and this one is gold, absolute gold.
Ooh, tell me about that. I haven't heard of this one.
So the 24-hour rule is simple. Whenever you feel the urge to buy something that isn't in your plan, especially something you didn't need this morning but suddenly feel like you can't live without, you wait 24 hours, just one day. You don't buy it immediately. You sleep on it.
Sleep on it, another great expression. To sleep on something means to wait before making a decision, to give yourself time to think about it overnight.
Yes, and the magic of the 24-hour rule is that most of the time, after 24 hours, the urge is gone. You wake up the next morning and you think, actually, do I really need that? No, I don't think I do. And you've just saved yourself money.
That is genuinely brilliant, because it's not about never treating yourself. It's about not acting on emotions in the moment.
Exactly, and that's a key mindset shift. A mindset shift means changing the way you think about something. I stopped thinking about money as something to spend and started thinking about it as something to manage, to take care of.
I love that. Managing money, not just spending it. It gives you a sense of control.
Yes, and control is the word. Because when you're just spending without thinking, money controls you. But when you have a plan, you control your money. And that feeling is, honestly, it's incredible. It changes everything.
Okay, so budget, the 24-hour rule. What else helped you?
Okay, so the next big thing, and this one took me a while to accept, was understanding the difference between needs and wants.
Oh, this is classic personal finance stuff, but can you explain it in a real, practical way, not the textbook version?
Yes, okay. So a need is something you genuinely require to live and function. Food, rent, electricity, transportation to work, basic clothing. Those are needs.
And a want is?
A want is everything else.
The new phone when your current one works perfectly fine, the subscription box you signed up for because it seemed fun, the third pair of trainers, the premium version of the app when the free version does exactly what you need.
And here's the sneaky part, right? Our brain is very good at turning wants into needs. Like we tell ourselves, I need this, but we don't actually need it. We want it.
Yes, and this is where honest self-talk becomes really important. You have to ask yourself, really ask yourself, is this a need or is this a want? And if it's a want, can I afford it right now within my budget?
And sometimes the answer is yes, you can afford it, and that's fine. A budget doesn't mean you never enjoy anything. It means you enjoy things intentionally, not accidentally.
Perfectly said. Intentionally. You choose how to enjoy your money rather than letting it just drift away without noticing.
Okay, I want to ask you about something specific, because I know a lot of our listeners are from different countries, different financial situations. What about those little subscriptions? The streaming services, the apps, the memberships? Because I feel like that's a huge area where money disappears quietly.
Oh, this is such an important one. Subscriptions are what I call silent killers for your budget.
Silent killers. I love that.
Because they don't feel like spending. You set them up once and forget about them. And then every month, quietly, they take money from your account. 5 here, 10 there, 15 there. And you're subscribed to things you haven't used in months.
I actually did a subscription audit last year. And listeners, an audit basically means a careful check or review of something. And I found I was paying for 4 different streaming services. 4.
And were you using all 4?
I was actively using maybe 1.5. I checked the others occasionally, but was I getting good value from them? Absolutely not.
Yep. So one of the best things you can do right now after this video is go through your bank statements and look for subscriptions. Write them all down. And for each one ask, have I used this in the last 30 days? Is it worth the money? And if the answer is no, cancel it.
Cancel it. Don't feel guilty. Just cancel it.
You can always resubscribe later if you miss it, but chances are you won't.
Okay, bank statement. Let's make sure our listeners understand that word. A bank statement is a document, usually monthly, that shows all the money coming in and going out of your bank account. It's a record of your financial activity.
Great. And looking at your bank statement is actually one of the most useful and sometimes terrifying things you can do for your finances.
Terrifying is the right word sometimes, but also enlightening.
Enlightening, meaning it opens your eyes. It teaches you something, even if it's something uncomfortable.
By the way, if you're enjoying this conversation and you're learning new expressions, new vocabulary, new ways of thinking in English, please take a second and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. We post new conversations every week, and every episode is designed to help you think, speak, and understand English more naturally. Okay, back to Michael and his money journey.
Yes, my journey. Okay, so let me tell you about another thing that really changed the game for me. And that expression, changed the game, means something that completely transformed the situation, made everything different.
Love that expression. What was the game changer?
Cooking at home. Seriously, I went from eating out almost every day, lunch at a restaurant, dinner ordered in, to cooking most of my meals at home. And the difference in my monthly spending was dramatic.
How dramatic?
I was spending maybe $400 a month on food when I was eating out all the time. I got it down to about $150 to feed myself for a whole month. That's almost $250 saved every month.
That's $3,000 a year, just from cooking at home more?
Just from cooking. Now, I'm not saying never eat out. I love going to a restaurant. I love a good meal with friends. But doing it every day versus doing it as a treat, as something special, is a completely different financial situation.
And the food you cook at home can be delicious, right? You don't have to eat sad salads every night.
Right, exactly. I learned some really easy, tasty recipes, and actually, I started to enjoy cooking. So it was a win on multiple levels.
A win on multiple levels, meaning something that's good in more than one way. It saves money and it's enjoyable. That's a win-win.
Another great expression, win-win, a situation where everyone or everything benefits, no losers.
Okay, so tracking spending, making a budget, the 24-hour rule, needs versus wants, canceling subscriptions, cooking at home. This is already a lot of really practical advice. Was there one more thing that you feel really made a difference?
Yes, the biggest one, actually. And it's something I wish someone had told me much earlier. It's called paying yourself first.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. What does it mean?
So most people, and I was one of them, work like this. They get paid, they spend money on everything they need and want, and then if there's anything left over at the end, they save it, right?
Yeah, save whatever's left, which is usually nothing.
Exactly, because there's almost never anything left. Spending expands to fill the money available. That's almost a law of nature.
Spending expands to fill the money available. That's almost poetic and terrifyingly true.
So paying yourself first means reversing that process. The very first thing you do is move a certain amount into savings before you pay bills, before you buy groceries, before anything. You save first.
And then you live on whatever's left.
And then you live on whatever's left. And what happens is you adapt. Humans are incredibly adaptable. If you know you have less to spend, you find ways to make it work. But if the money is just sitting there in your account, you'll spend it. It's human nature.
I've heard this called automating your savings too, right? Where you set up an automatic transfer so it happens without you even having to think about it?
Yes, automation is key because if you have to make the decision every month to transfer money to savings, some months you'll do it, some months you'll make excuses. But if it's automatic, it just happens. You remove the decision entirely. You remove the temptation.
Remove the temptation. I like that. Because that's really what a lot of good financial habits come down to. Removing the situations where you'd make a bad decision.
Absolutely. You're designing your environment to make the good choice the easy choice and the bad choice harder.
That's almost like a life philosophy, not just a money tip.
It genuinely is. And honestly, learning to manage money better taught me a lot about discipline, about patience, about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification meaning the ability to wait for something good in the future instead of getting something okay right now.
That is such an important concept, and it's one that separates people who build wealth over time from people who stay stuck in the cycle of spending and being broke.
Totally. It's not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with what you have.
That's quotable, Michael. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you have. I want that on a poster.
Feel free.
Okay, let's take a moment because we've used so many great expressions in this conversation, and I want to make sure our listeners have really absorbed them. Michael, can we just run through a few of the best ones?
Absolutely. Let's do it. So we had tracking your spending. To track your spending means to keep a careful record of everything you buy.
Then we had the latte factor, the idea that small daily purchases add up to a huge amount of money over time.
Impulse buy, buying something suddenly without planning, usually based on emotion.
Sticking to your budget, continuing to follow your financial plan even when it's tempting not to.
Sleep on it, to wait before making a decision. Give yourself time to think.
Silent killers, in this context, subscriptions that quietly take money from your account without you noticing.
Pay yourself first, saving money before spending anything else.
Delayed gratification, waiting for something good in the future rather than taking something okay right now.
Broke, having no money, temporarily out of funds.
And facing the music, accepting a difficult truth even when it's uncomfortable.
Those are solid, really useful expressions for everyday English, and they all came up naturally in conversation. That's how you really absorb language.
Michael, I want to go a little deeper because I think there's an emotional side to all of this that we haven't talked about yet. Because it's not just about knowing what to do, right? Lots of people know they should save money, they still don't do it. So what's going on emotionally?
That is such a good question, and I think you're absolutely right. Money is deeply emotional. The way we spend money is connected to how we feel. When we're stressed, we spend. When we're bored, we spend. When we're celebrating, we spend. When we're sad, we spend.
Shopping is therapy, basically.
Exactly. Retail therapy. That's the actual expression for it. People joke about going retail therapy when they're feeling down. And it's funny, but it's also kind of a real problem if it happens all the time.
And the spending gives you a little rush in the moment, right? You buy something new and you feel good for a few hours, and then the feeling fades.
Yes, and then you look at your bank account and the bad feeling is even worse than before. So now you've spent money and you feel terrible. It's a cycle, a really unhealthy cycle.
So how do you break that cycle?
Honestly, awareness is the first step. Just recognizing that you're doing it, noticing the pattern. Like, I'm stressed right now and I feel like buying something.
Is that going to actually fix the problem? Or am I just going to feel stressed and also be poorer?
That self-awareness is everything, and it connects to something bigger, the idea of mindful spending, being conscious, being present when you make financial decisions.
Yes, mindful spending, thinking before you act. And honestly, just that pause, just that moment of awareness can save you so much money over time.
And I think there's also something to be said for finding other ways to feel good that don't cost money, or don't cost as much.
Absolutely. Going for a walk, calling a friend, reading a book you already own. These things sound simple, but they genuinely work to lift your mood, and they don't drain your bank account.
Drain your bank account, another great expression. To drain something means to empty it, remove all of the liquid. So to drain your bank account means to spend until there's nothing left.
Like leaving a tap running all day. The tank eventually runs dry.
Perfect image. Okay, listeners, I want to pause here and give you a little challenge. We're going to ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. Maybe pause the video and think for a moment.
Here's the question. What is one habit in your life right now that is costing you more money than it should? It could be coffee, it could be subscriptions, it could be eating out, it could be online shopping late at night. What is your version of the latte factor?
And we want you to answer in the comments. Use English. Practice what you've been listening to. You can say something like, my version of the latte factor is, or I waste money on, or my biggest impulse buy habit is.
Write it down, because writing helps you think. And honestly, just admitting it is the first step to changing it.
Okay, Michael, I have one more thing I want to ask you, because someone listening might think, okay, great, this all sounds good, but I'm already in debt. I'm already behind. Is it too late?
That is such an important question. And my answer is absolutely not. It is never too late. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today, right now.
The second best time is today. I love that.
And if you're in debt, debt, by the way, means money you owe to someone, usually a bank or a credit card company. The principles are the same. You track what you owe. You make a plan. You pay off the debt that has the highest interest rate first. You build habits slowly and consistently.
Interest rate. That's the percentage of extra money you pay on top of what you borrowed. So if you borrow $100 and the interest rate is 10%, you owe $110 back.
Right. And credit card debt usually has very high interest rates. That's one of the most important things to deal with first if you're in debt.
So the message is, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. What matters is that you start.
Exactly. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just pick one thing, one small thing. Maybe it's tracking your spending this week. Maybe it's canceling one subscription you don't use. Maybe it's making coffee at home 3 days this week instead of buying it. One step.
Progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection. That's the mindset. Every small step in the right direction matters. Every single one.
You know, I think it's worth saying, different cultures have very different relationships with money. In some cultures, saving is deeply valued from a very young age. In others, spending, especially on family, hospitality, appearances, is seen as important and generous. There's no one right way, but regardless of your culture, having awareness of your finances is always useful.
So well said. And I think the goal isn't to become someone who never spends money, who never enjoys anything. The goal is just to be intentional, to be in control. So when you do spend, you spend on things that truly matter to you, not on autopilot.
On autopilot, meaning automatically, without thinking. Like when you're so used to doing something that you do it without any conscious thought.
Like driving a route you know so well that you arrive and don't even remember the journey.
Yes, spending on autopilot is like that. You just do it without thinking and suddenly the money is gone and you don't even know what you bought.
Okay, let me just quickly summarize the main things that helped me stop wasting money so that if you're taking notes, you have everything clearly.
Great, go ahead.
1. Track your spending. Know where your money is going. You can use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or a budgeting app. Just write it down.
2. Make a real budget. Plan your money before the month starts. Give every dollar a job.
3. Use the 24-hour rule. Before any unplanned purchase, wait a day. You'll often discover you don't really want it.
4. Know your needs versus your wants. Be honest. That honest conversation with yourself is where the real change happens.
5. Audit your subscriptions. Go through everything you're paying for monthly. Cancel what you don't use.
6. Cook at home more. Even just a few extra times a week. The savings really add up.
7. Pay yourself first. When you get paid, Move money to savings immediately, before anything else.
And 8, be mindful and patient. Building better habits takes time. Be kind to yourself. Progress over perfection.
That's the list. 8 things. None of them complicated, all of them powerful.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of today's episode, and honestly, this has been such a real, honest conversation. I feel like we've talked about money in a way that's actually helpful, not preachy.
That was the goal, because we're not financial experts. We're just two people who've been through it, who've made mistakes, who've learned, and who want to share that in a way that's useful.
And helpful for your English at the same time.
Yes, don't forget, all of these expressions, all of this vocabulary came up naturally in a real conversation. That's how you absorb English, by listening to it being used in context, not just memorizing a list of words.
So if you want to practice, here are some questions to think about and answer in the comments below.
Number 1, have you ever looked at your bank account and been surprised or shocked by what you found?
Number 2, what is one money habit you want to change? Use the expression, I want to break the habit of.
And number 3, what is one money tip that someone gave you that actually helped? Or what advice do you wish someone had given you earlier about money?
Answer in English in the comments. Even a short sentence, even one sentence. It's practice, and practice is everything.
And if someone in the comments writes something in English and makes a mistake, be kind, be supportive. We're all learning. That's what this community is about.
Absolutely. We are all on this journey together. Language learning, life learning, it's all connected.
And one last thing. If you got something valuable from today's episode, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. A friend, a family member, someone who's always saying, I don't know where my money goes. Maybe this conversation will help them.
Or someone who just wants to improve their English and enjoy a real, natural conversation. Send it their way.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. And take care of your wallets.
Yes, wallet health is real health. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.